Hi and welcome to Rosebread Homestead, and today we're going to do more with some emergency preparedness. As promised, we're going to talk about why store vinegar. So I have a little story to tell you. Back a long time ago, like in the 60s when I was in high school, I had long red hair. And back then, of course, there were not anywhere near the number of hair products that we have on the market today. And I was always really concerned about my hair being really shiny. And so my mother told me to just add a couple of tablespoons of vinegar, and I used apple cider vinegar, in a quart of water, and after I shampooed and rinsed, then to rinse my hair with that vinegar water. And it just worked like a charm. My hair was always so shiny. Now, I haven't done that for years and years because there are tons of other products right now. But I would imagine that some of you also have used vinegar and maybe even still do on your hair. So having some vinegar for emergency preparedness purposes is really a good idea for a whole lot more than just having shiny hair. One of the things that we need to really understand is that vinegar is an acid. Well, how strong of an acid is vinegar? Let's check. So here is my trusty litmus paper that I always keep in my kitchen. And I'm just going to pull one strip and tip this vinegar until I can get a good dousing of it. And here we are. Woo! It is a 2, clearly a 2. Well, on a scale of 1 to 14, with the low numbers being high acid, if this vinegar is a 2, you can tell that it is very strong acid. Not as strong as battery acid, but it is way up there. And so as we think about uses for vinegar in an emergency preparedness situation, we need to remember that it is an acid. Now, here are some things we should never use vinegar on or with. Never, ever add vinegar to Clorox. Clorox is very basic, vinegar is very acidic, and when those two come together, a chemical reaction occurs that releases chlorine gas, which is poisonous and it can be fatal. So don't ever add vinegar to Clorox. Keep those two completely apart from each other. And that's really important because both of those are household items. So in being conscientious about this being an acid, what other things maybe are not a very good idea for us to use vinegar on? Hardwood floors, for one thing, or waxed wood furniture. I would never use vinegar on my grand piano. Carpets and carpet stains. Sometimes I read a lot across the internet in preparing for this video today, and a lot of people recommend that you use vinegar as a stain remover on your carpet. Well, it does work sometimes, but also an acid on your carpet can be damaging. And you can dilute the vinegar and maybe use it safely, but just be very cautious. Also, unsealed grout. Any place that you have tile where the grout is unsealed, don't use vinegar there. Stone surfaces. This is granite. And you can see that this granite is a conglomeration of a whole lot of little pieces. If I use pure vinegar on here, it can erode away whatever cementing there is among these particles, and those particles can turn loose. So keep it away from marble and from travertine and from granite. And then I also read a lot about how you can just put a cup of vinegar in your dishwasher and run your dishwasher. Same with your washing machine to kind of clean it out and make it nice and sparkly clean. Well, that probably is true, you could. But remember, there are rubber gaskets and rubber hoses in both of those appliances. And to apply a strong acid to those rubberized fixtures may not be a really good idea. And also you're going to want to be really careful with using it on your computer screen. If you use it on your phone screen or your computer screen, it should be diluted way, way, way down. So with all of those don't do this, are there things that vinegar is really useful for that justify us keeping several gallons of this in our emergency preparedness supplies? Well, yes, there are. It has some uses and applications in the garden. I love little spray bottles like this. This is just a perfect size. And we can fill this with vinegar and spray it directly on weeds, and it will kill the weeds. But remember, it's also going to add acid to your soil, so be sure that that's exactly what you want. It will kill plants, so keep it away from house plants, but you can spray it directly on weeds. Vinegar will also control insects, and it will soothe insect bites. 100% vinegar on a bee sting or ant bites will help. And then if you want to use it as an insect repellent on your skin, then you can use 1 part vinegar to 2 parts of water in a spray bottle, and it does a pretty darn good job of repelling mosquitoes and other insects. So what can we use this distilled white vinegar for? A lot of household cleaning applications have vinegar as one of their ingredients, but we can make our own cleaning solutions if we wish, just with white vinegar. White vinegar is really good for removing the sticky back stuff on a bumper sticker, on the chrome of your car. We can use it to clean tiles so long as the grout has been sealed. It's really good for cleaning tiles. Another thing that we can do is to pour it into a little baggie if our shower head gets clogged up with all of that mineralized gunk, and you get hit in the eye with a stream of water because of the gunk on the holes of the shower head. Just put some white vinegar in the bottom of a baggie and put that baggie around the shower head and rubber band it or tie it, and let that shower head soak in the vinegar for several hours, and it will dissolve all of that mineralization. By the same token, it will remove rust on tools, so that's a good thing. For our microwaves, we can pour some white vinegar in a bowl, put that bowl in the microwave and turn it on and let that boil. And the steam and the vinegar fumes that come up, just let them sit for about an hour, and then you can go in and everything will just wipe right off. Long before there was Windex, or if there was Windex, my family never bought it because it was too expensive. My mother taught us once again how to just put some vinegar in a spray bottle or on a cleaning rag and wash bathroom mirrors and also windows. And so it's a great cleaner for windows and glass. Also, white vinegar is a good stain remover. It will move lipstick and tomato juice and blood, using it directly on clothing, and then we can run that through the washing machine. Also, I don't know if your towels start to smell pretty funky after you've laundered them for several times, but you can also refresh your towels by putting a little bit of vinegar in a batch of towels that you're running through the laundry. Just remember that the vinegar water is acid water and it's not too good for the rubber. So just be sure you think a balance of when you're going to do it and how often you're going to do it. As we've talked about before, especially on our video where we were talking about why it's important to store baking soda, the combination of baking soda and vinegar is also it has a ton of uses, and one of those is to unclog a drain. And so you could just dump some drop some baking soda down in your pipe, and then add a half a cup of vinegar, and of course it creates that chemical reaction and often just releases a clog, and then the water will move straight through it. Hard water stains in your toilet will come up with vinegar. Removing gum, I almost had an accident in my truck driving home. I was chewing gum and went to take it out of my mouth and put it in a little paper in my trash, and I dropped it down on my leather seat. And I thought, oh no. And I felt around and couldn't find it. And I thought, it's going to be on my clothes or it's going to be on this leather seat. And then I remembered, well, I know exactly how I can get it off. I can get it off with vinegar. But fortunately, I found it and got it into the trash. If your shoes, especially suede shoes, have saltwater stains, vinegar is the way to go. And then, of course, last but not least, is that this makes a really good stainless steel cleaner. And so my refrigerator, my microwave, my oven, my dishwasher, my sinks, anything, I can just spray straight vinegar on there and wipe it off, remove stains, and it's just shiny and bright like new. So there's lots of uses for vinegar in an emergency preparedness situation, in combination with baking soda as well. And also remember that vinegar is a great food preservative. That's not exactly what we're talking about here, because we were talking about non-food uses, but it also has lots of uses with food as well, for flavoring and acidification of things, and also for food preservation. So that's it for some good reasons why we should be sure that we have both apple cider vinegar and white vinegar in our emergency preparedness supplies. So thanks for watching, and we will see you at our next video.